What's good, fam? Hey, you know what time it is, baby. You already know. It's time to get down to the nitty gritty. You finna have us some fun tonight. Maybe it might be fun for some. It might be what's the word I want to say? It might be a wake up call or taking a hard look at yourself. I don't know, accountability, self reflection. Who knows? This live might go anywhere because we gonna talk about some things that not only that I've seen since being out here, stuff I've seen through social media. We've talked about some of this stuff. It all just we're gonna keep. Remember, we building over here, and we're gonna keep piecing certain stuff together. And some of those things we piecing together is some of the things I've already said in other videos. But hey, by the time we finish building this thing, because they say we built this thing brick by brick. Hey, it's finna go down. So you already seen the title. When do you force it? And you know we gotta set the scene. When I'm talking about when do you force it, I'm thinking, right, because you know me, you know your boy, sports. Love me some sports. And I remember being, whether it's football, basketball, but mainly basketball, when you like tired, you done, you don't have nothing left in you, you just, and they like, keep going, dig deep, you got this, and you find that next level and that next level, and you just keep going deeper and deeper, pushing yourself to the limit, what feels like. That applies to certain things, and I believe that some of the stuff we push ourselves to the limit on can also be the downfall, because you can push too much, and then there's times when you're not supposed to push, you're supposed to sit back and chill, or in this case, when should you force it? Like the title of the video, the live tonight. When should you force it? And I'm thinking about conversations I had in one-on-ones, talking about the little clips and inserts. But I tell you, when you watch the videos, they all start to make sense. Like when I told you about our grandparents grew up with the oven. Our parents grew up with the crock pot. My generation got the microwave. The current generation, they have air fryers and Instant Pot. Like, stuff speeds up. So you start to build new traits and new habits and mental thoughts that say things need to go fast. And it all ultimately, it'll cause you to start forcing some stuff that you probably shouldn't force. And when I'm talking about force, I'm talking about mainly in business. And I see people, I've been guilty of this before, force things that they're not ready for, and it caused them to get in situations that they shouldn't be in, but because they forced it, that's what we're going to talk about. And I'm going to give a couple of examples. Like you've seen, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong, you've seen those situations, like if we just say online, like somebody will say, I can do your credit repair, or I can do your taxes, or we can do this and make money. And then it sounds good. That person looks like they living a great life. They're doing great things. And then all of a sudden, a year, 2, 3 years later, you see them all of a sudden, hey, they're being brought up on fraud charges. We talked about that a little bit, scammers and fraud. We talked about all that. We talked about different times, especially in this cargo van business, like we go back to during the pandemic, when everything shut down, people jumped in, they started buying stuff without doing their research, put the cart in front of the horse, as the elders used to say. And then when stuff started going to a certain way, all of a sudden they didn't know what to do, and it caused them to go out of business. That's not what we're trying to do over here. So we're gonna talk about, and I'm not gonna say no names and nothing, but we're gonna sprinkle in a little stuff that I've seen in comments and stuff that I've seen and talked to during one-on-ones and all that, so we can break down some of this stuff a little better. But what's going on, fam? JCM in the building. Hey, I saw your comment, fam, on the video we just dropped. Don't worry, I saw your comment. What's going on, Rick? What's going on? I'm gonna tell y'all how Chip doing. And matter of fact, let's get that out the way right now. So I do know what's wrong with Chip. Chip, I think he's ready to come home. I don't know. He be partying a little too much. I tried to call and check on him, but they couldn't. The dude was out there partying. So I'm gonna check on him tomorrow. I don't know. You're gonna find out, but I know what's wrong with him. But that's for a video, so we can sit down and talk. Because I want that to be, because as you see, as we build, we break stuff down in the videos. Because again, I told y'all, I'm not here to just do courses, but I'm gonna do it for the fan that want it. At the end, but I want to make sure all the information is in the videos as we transition. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're talking about we're forcing it. What's going on, fam? G2G Transport Services in the building. And you know the Quicks is in the building, out and about, but they listening. I ain't mad at you, fam. Now, since we talked about Chief, I'm going to use that as an example. So remember in the one video or something like that, I was like, I didn't want to just show up on the scene, but like, hey, we got 3 vans, we got 4 vans, and everybody like, well, how you do it? Because that's what we see. We see people do the behind the work, don't see the behind the work scenes of people, and then all of a sudden they just show up out the blue, and they got this empire supposedly that's running so great. And the one thing that I learned is that you don't know what hurdles and what they had going on in the past, what they learned throughout life. We talked about all this in videos. That's why you gotta watch all the videos, man, because it comes together. And so we have, like, say for example, say if we use somebody that wants to grow your fleet, get more than 1 van, more than 1 box truck, whatever it is. What I'm starting to learn is, and it's nothing against people because you don't know what you don't know. I told you about the 3 no's. You don't know that you don't know what you don't know. You run out there and do that, but you still don't understand the business sense. I'll give you an example. If you have 1 vehicle, that 1 vehicle will pay for stuff, keep you afloat. Then you say you want to get a 2nd vehicle. That 2nd vehicle starts paying business expenses and all that kind of stuff. But it's not really till you get the 3rd vehicle that you start really seeing the money come in the way in your mind you think it is. So if you run out there and buy 3 vehicles and you don't know how to run the business and sustain the business, are you truly prepared to run that business? That's why I tell y'all all the time, we're slowly doing it through the videos, because remember that saying I say, can't teach you 12th grade stuff if we still in kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade. Everybody's at different points of it, but I have to still do it in order. So people that's the fam, I appreciate y'all that might be a little bit ahead that's waiting until we get to that point. But let's use it for example. If you're ready to scale up, and it's multiple ways to do this. It's multiple ways to do this. Just listen to the example. If it's multiple ways to scale up, like say you want to hire somebody and make them a 1099 driver. It's things that, and of course we're going to tap on this in later on in the future. Say you want to hire somebody that's a 1099 driver. Are they driving your vehicle? Are they driving their vehicle? What type of insurance do they have? And when I say insurance, I'm not just talking about for you. You got to think about the insurance that, because you're building a business. If they want to bring a lawsuit, do you have business insurance? That's totally separate than vehicle insurance, because people can, it's the world we live in, people can sue you. Your insurance for your van can't pay for that. Do you know what business insurance is? Do you even know who to call for business insurance? If you want to go a little deeper and you want to start making it where your employees got health insurance, medical insurance. But before we even get to that, and you're building a business, remember, we're solopreneurs. Do you already even have your insurance, life insurance set up? Because we do dangerous jobs. Do you have medical and health insurance and dental insurance for your family? Or you have a death plan, a benefit plan, a life insurance plan for your family members? Like, do you have all that in place before you jump to saying, okay, I'm gonna hire somebody? Because all that stuff costs money. It's gonna take money out of the business as you continue to grow it. Okay, let's go a little further. If you're saying I want to grow my business and I'm gonna force it, I'm finna go get these other vehicles. Are you truly ready for that? Because it's a simple fact. When you grow, let's stick with family first. And we talk about finance. I told you the 5 pillars and another lie. When it's time to start setting up, say, I want to do a trust. I want to be a living will. Are you prepared to do that step? If you still are over here working on figuring out the exact CPM in your COL, which we've talked about, are you ready for that next step to get to talking about CPM, COL, and all that stuff? Are you going to force it and not be prepared for what you're trying to do? Because that's what I see going on. I see people running out there and doing it, and there's nothing wrong with this. It's nothing wrong with it, because everybody has different experience. If you have extra funds coming in from somewhere that's not the van or the box truck, if you got other funds coming in that allows you to do that, go ahead. If you come from a background with a family that got money and you already squared away and you straight, go ahead. I'm talking to the fam that's like the everyday folks like me, and you getting this thing from the beginning, and you're the one that's changing the cycle and building on those generational curses. Remember that video? if you're the one that's starting that, you most likely don't have them unlimited funds to just do that. And then, like I said, do you even know who to call to go get health insurance for your family, medical insurance for your family? Because it ain't the same when you start talking about it's a business thing. Are you prepared to put your big family members under the business to run the business with you? Are you prepared to deal with a 1099 worker? Do you even know how to do the 1099 worker tax part of that? Does your tax person, do you have a tax person? You see how this can keep going down a rabbit hole? But people still try and do it, which is nothing wrong, because I want you to get your money. But I don't want you to get your money and then have to end up giving it up or giving it back because you forced it too soon. Don't worry, give me a second. Let me holler at the fam. Jamal, what's going on in the building? Nah, fam, I got you, fam. I got you. No problem, fam. I got you. Matter of fact, I'm not going to talk about what we talked about, but some of the stuff might sound familiar what we was talking about earlier. What's up, Chris? What's going on? Oh, wow. Let me put this up there. Hey, guys, if you're in Columbia, South Carolina, be careful. It's a driver shoot on USC campus. Man, be safe out there, fam. Be safe out there. Jay Harv, I need you. People need this content, so please give BG a thumbs up and hope everyone is well. Yeah, fam. Jay Harv, I need you to I need your email, fam. I couldn't find it when I was trying to contact you so we can chop it up. Need you to send that to me. We need to chop it up, fam. Hey, what's going on? Don't y'all worry about them. They are amazing people, drive you crazy and love them at the same time. You know them type people? That's them. I love them. I love y'all. I love the family. Y'all love y'all. But no, let's get back to it. Because when you're supposed to force it. So you know me in the way I talk, in the way I look and view things. I have to use examples because I know everybody don't need them, but that's the way I was taught to teach. That's the way stuff was taught to me, so I'm going to teach it to y'all that same exact way. If you got a kid, I'm used because I have kids. If you got a kid, they turn 16. We see people do it. For me, again, this is just my personal opinion. Y'all do what y'all want to. And they just want to drive a car. It's going to be their first car. They got a little bit of practice driving your car. They passed their driver's test. It's their first car. There's a reason that insurance prices exist in a certain way for younger people than it does for as you continue to get older. Because if you got a 16-year-old, do you put them into something that got so much horsepower that can really go just hammer down and take off, knowing they barely know how to drive? Maybe not even good at decision making, their reaction times, never really handle something with a bunch of power behind it. A sports car. Would you really be ready to throw them into that? And I'm not knocking nobody to do, but think about the possibilities of what could happen. It don't happen all the time, but there are instances, and it can happen with older people too. I'm not just taking shots at the young people, but it can happen. Why? Because they got put into something that they're not quite ready for. But it was forced because you want them to have nice things and you want to have nice things. So now let's go back to the cargo van business and think about some of these videos we talked about when do you force it? Remember we talk about like the circle and you need to get a load. You need to go somewhere and you're sitting in a location that is not good. Do you stay sitting there like we crack jokes when we see all the vans lined up in Laredo, or do you force it, which we've talked about, and get up out of there and go to San Antonio, get up out there and go to Houston? Those are the times when it comes to business, you have to force something. The growth of a business, you can't force that, fam. I get it. I see, we all see them. We see the people that got that capital, because if you got the capital, you can do a lot of stuff. We heard that saying, money talks. You can get somewhere real fast with money because you have money to replace it in the event that something that something does happen. We don't want nothing to happen, but in the event, you have the money to do it. But if you don't, and you force the growth, you can't force the growth to be, I can't take my kid that's in 5th grade and all of a sudden say, you know what? I, as your dad, feel like you're smart. I'm going to put you in the 10th grade. That 10th grade going to swallow him up whole because he's just in the 5th grade. And that's what you're probably doing with your business. I know we wanted to go faster. I know we wanted to do this and that. Like, for example, Chip, he's been down all week. Why I'm not worried? Because this 1 week is going to look like a blip on the map. It's going to be like a little small part in the calendar that by the time it's all said and done, I'm going to most likely forget that week. I wish I had and I'm going to figure this out because I need to do it. I'm just use my hands now. Say this is your life. This is the beginning. This is the end. For most people in this lifespan, for most of us, we're right here. We still got this much left. We only done this much. But in this short amount of time, right up in between here, you probably remember certain things, but it's a lot of stuff that happened that you ain't even thinking about. And it's a blip on the map, whether it been a fight, whether it been you broke an arm or something, fell off your bike. Been you lost a loved one, but you had to keep moving on. It's little blips. So you can, but you life up to get you to this point. However, there are things that you might not have been taught, things that you were taught and didn't take advantage of, that wouldn't have caused you be to a situation where you did force it or didn't force it because you didn't know when to force it and when to sit back and chill. But you still have this much life left. We only covered a short bit. And now it might be like, BG, but you say you're going to wait till next year to start talking about business. If we talked about this, I'm going to keep saying we talked about it in video because for some people, they even went back and watched. BG, you just said it's not till next year, but we're going to talk about business. I want y'all to answer me truthfully. How long ago does it feel? Not the number part. How long ago does it feel that we just was in the pandemic? Because think about it. We're already over the halfway point of 2025. The pandemic technically happened 6 years ago. I know some people will be like, nah, it hit in 2020. Remember, I just came back from overseas. My family, we had just moved back. So we still had ties in Europe and all that. I can only imagine what Asia was going through, but the pandemic started running through Europe early 2019 into 2018. It started running through there over there early. It was already going on in Asia. But by the time it caught up to us in America, it was already towards the middle end of 2019. The rest of the world had already been a year ahead. So when we sitting there like, oh my goodness, they had already went through the year of I don't know what, because we weren't there. And we went through that 5-year span. They even saying parts of it's popping up in certain schools right now. But the point I'm trying to get at is that you can try to force something to happen in your life. There are times you're supposed to, times you're not. And it's about getting that understanding. That's why that last live we did, patience is a virtue. I promise you. If y'all keep up, all of this stuff is piecing together like a book. It's more to that. But it's all piecing together. But I need y'all to rock and stick with me as we keep talking. But give me just a second. I'm finna holler at the fam because, boy, y'all is in it. What y'all over here talking about? What is y'all over here talking about? Well, I got to catch up. Let me go back. Anthony say, got the van. Can anyone help me with commercial auto in Cali? They're charging me $20,000 a year, $2,500 a month for 1 mil liability and 100 cargo insurance. All insights on this is appreciated, fam. Let's start timing in. I don't know if you run Progressive, Geico. Excuse me. I don't know who you went through. I'm gonna catch up on the comments because y'all probably already talking about it. Anthony, have you tried Progressive? There go one. What's this? Oh, thanks for today. Can't wait to talk some more. Want to make sure we are set up to win. Van fam. You gonna start if throughout this lead live, you're gonna be like, I remember some of this conversation. Let's get back. What you got on the insurance? Anthony, are they doing this with a clean driving record for the past 5 years? I'm putting it up there because somebody out there in Cali or somewhere else that's ready to do this. Remember, when do you force it? That's ready to get in the game and congrats already on the insurance. But this is part of them. I'm going to use you for an example. When we say force it, it's somebody out there, not you, Anthony. It's somebody out there that wants to get in this game and they're probably not even factoring in with the insurance. They've heard people with the quotes, but everybody's quote is going to be different based on, just like Jay Harv said, like your driving record, like your insurance quote does based on your driving record, based on a bunch of things. It even goes based off your credit. If you didn't know that, your credit score plays a part in that as well. So it's stuff you have to do before you force stuff. Let's see. Hey G, my wife watched a video today on different vans. She said your knees still look tight in that ProMaster. I'm comfortable. Y'all be killing me. That video just dropped, fam. I told y'all I was gonna get it out to you, but it wasn't to the end of the week. Why? Because I knew I wasn't going nowhere, so I didn't force it. I unplugged and hung out with the family. But y'all knew I was coming to holler at y'all. Jay Harvey is telling Anthony to keep shopping around and tell them you're staying in Cali for now, not doing loads over 500 miles and probably no more than 1,500 a week. This is advice. Try Progressive. They don't do California. Remember, we talked about that different insurance in different places makes a difference. Yes, I even pulled my record on the DMV. LOL, clean as a whistle. Remember what we told? I don't know if you just called them directly or if you use the third party. Got to use. Sometimes it's good to also have insurance agents in your area because they know who the different people are. They know who to work. They might got relationships with them. That goes back to that business talk that we talked about few videos throughout all the videos, basically. Having good mannerisms, business etiquette, because that means a lot when you're talking to people. Tell Jamal my knees were tighter than that, and I had to take it to a welder and get the seat pushed back for me. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Jay Harv says he got Progressives, but here in Arizona, who do you know in another state, Anthony? Y'all trying to figure it out. What's going on, fam? Y'all in this thing. I see y'all filing in. I'm going to get back to the story in a minute, but we got to catch up with the fam. Y'all be getting ahead of me. Yeah, Jay. Yeah, G sit higher, but you still y'all crazy. They talking about the video, fan, that we just dropped about the cargo vans. Which one you should go? Which one you should look at? I'm trying to catch up. Anything? Let's see. Oh boy, y'all is talking. Anything? Try quoting with Geico. Try all of them, fam. Don't leave no insurance agent unturned. Did you see my short? Did you get it? I did see the link, but I haven't watched it yet. Can I watch it on my phone? I'm gonna watch it after this. I'm gonna tell you about it because I'm gonna reply to your comment. We got more questions. Jay trying to figure out if anyone know of any good dispatching companies that is pretty good and consistent and getting loads. Hey, we got them out there. Shout out to my grand for filming you. Yeah, I'm telling you, you don't understand the behind the scenes stuff she does, man. It's amazing. Like they said, this is about the insurance. Use a broker; it will save you money. Like I said, find one in that area. They know the people to call because it might not necessarily be a Progressive. It might not be the Geico. Might not be the big ones you're thinking about. It could be regular insurance people that have insurance companies that are right there with you. It's the same how we talk about dispatchers and all that. Some are the big ones, some are the small ones. The small ones might give a chance because they're trying to get started. It goes to suggest, Anthony, make sure you're using keywords like general freight, and they are certain keywords to use when getting your insurance. If you say the wrong thing, it will be high. That's a possibility. What's going on, man? John in the building. All the way from Lakeland, Florida. Like Lakeland, Florida. I was just there. It ain't that far. I love it out there, but I just can't stay out there with the freight. But yeah, fam, I think I'm caught up right now. So let's tap back in what I was saying about the when do you force it? Because it's like I know I'm talking, but I really want to know your opinion because I know times when I force something, it's been lows. We've talked about that one before. When you see a load that's real good and you like, I'm gonna take it. I was your test dummy. I've done that for you. And you're taking that load, you forced it because you wanted to get that money. And then when you figured out, once you got to where the location was, and you're like, oh man, I should not have taken this load. I am in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming. It's times when you force it and it's times when you don't. And I don't want you to think about it from just the business sense, because this also applies to life. Yeah, we give life lessons, personal development, business development. The reason those are my specialty that I love because they go hand in hand. It's like a fine balance. Like it's easy to balance when you work 9 to 5. We already know that because you got set hours, 9 to 5. You at home and you can balance family life around that. The problem with that situation is we're not in a regular 9 to 5. No entrepreneurial journey is. And there's going to be times in that entrepreneur, self-employed, however you want to look at solopreneur, however you want to look at the situation, where you're going to have to force things that's going to have to tilt that balance back and forth. I'll give you an example. Let's give an example. So we're in vans, box trucks, whatever. Of course, in the ideal world, you'll want to just run around locally and be home every single night at a certain time. That's the perfect world. If you're doing gig work, you probably can pull that off. But remember, gig work is different in different locations. I know, like up north of New York and all that stuff, you can see them out there doing VHO routes, and it's 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. You could be doing Amazon Flex that has the delivery that ends last one 9, 10 o'clock at night, but then at the same time, you got some work that ends at 4, 5 o'clock. You could be doing that. It doesn't matter what it is, but your hours won't be as conventional as a 9 to 5. So now you have to force it because you're trying to go get it. Which I say a lot in the videos for a reason. Go get it. I miss the go get it because that's when I'm forcing it. I'll give another example. Myself. If the loads aren't moving like I want to in Houston to get me where I wanted to go, those are those times you see me run down to Laredo and pick something up. Or if I wanted something that I knew I was going to come back home and I reverse engineered it and I deadheaded it to get it, but brought it back home versus picking it up at home and driving somewhere and then deadheading back. If you actually paid attention to the video, matter of fact, when y'all get a chance, you ain't even got to watch the videos for this, what I'm about to say. Go back and look at the thumbnails. You'll see a lot of the loads I got. Majority of them, the vast majority did not initiate in Houston. I had to go get it. That was me forcing it. But then there are situations where I can't force it. And it's like, it's a Friday. Oh, no, I'm not forcing it. I'm not finna stay here. I've done that once. In LA. I forced it and said, I'm not moving. I'm staying right here. And I'm going to wait till Monday. And I'm going to go somewhere after that. And Monday came and Monday went. And before I knew it, I was deadheading over to Phoenix, Arizona. Why? Because I was trying to force it. And I already knew the region. And I knew better that I would have saved myself time and money had I just cut my losses and went home. But I forced it. It goes both ways. Hold on. Before I keep going, I just see what's a good rate on 560 loaded miles? For me, everybody else has their own opinion. For me, I'm always gonna say $1 minimum, start at $1 a mile. But I understand everybody doesn't do it on their own. I know that a lot does it for couriers and dispatchers. So the part with that question is it can come kind of loaded because that 560 mile pay is different based on areas. If you're up northern part of the circle, you're going to get a little bit more than $1 a mile. But if you're down in Florida, obviously, they're going to try and get you for 60, 70 cents a mile. So it's a loaded question because of the simple fact the rates in each area is not the exact same. Like you probably can get that $1. You most likely can get that $1 a mile exactly coming out of Texas. But it also means the brokers because TQL is going to hit you around $1 a mile, but King of Freight might get you to like $1.10, $1.15. It all depends on the area and the location. So it can be anything fluctuating up and down to get you out. Because I'll give you an example. If that load is going for 560 miles, and you are in Florida and you tell people, man, it's rough down there because everybody knows 60, 70 cents a mile. But you could say, I got the load out of Florida for $525, even though I'm going to 560 miles. Most people are going to be like, yeah, that was amazing. But if I told you picked that load up in St. Louis and you was going 560 miles and you tell me you got the load for 525, I'm going to be like, you left money on the table. That's how it can change just that fast. Where am I going? Let's see. The rates from GA to West. The rate is from Georgia to West Virginia. What you guys got? What's your suggestion for 560 loaded miles? If you're booking it yourself, I wouldn't start at nothing less than 575. If I'm booking it myself, that's like don't if you don't tell the broker 575, that's your negotiating rate if you come down to that. So depending on the broker, who's the broker, if I'm booking it myself, Georgia, West Virginia, what part of Georgia? Are we talking about Atlanta? If we're talking about Atlanta because of the amount of people that's in Atlanta that's trying to get moving, I probably would start them out at 600 to 625 with, because they're going to counter. And you might get into with my bottom counter getting to 575. But I'm not going to go crazy. Me personally, if I know my number is five, this is when I say don't overprice yourself. If I know my bottom number is 575, but I can only get them to 550, I'm not going to leave 550 on the table for $25. Because I know my bottom based on I'm giving you the answer based off my CPM, my COL, all that stuff. That's my bottom number. But at the same time, I just don't. Everybody has their own opinion, but I'm not leaving 550 because my bottom number is 575 because they couldn't come up the other 25. I might start at 600 or 625, but if I can only get them, because you're gonna think they're gonna start low too. They might start at 400. They might start at 300. They might get to 500, and then you might just get them to 550. You'll be able to tell that in the conversation because, again, it's a lot of stuff that goes and tails in that, and that's getting to know who you brokering with, what the conversation is going like. Because some brokers are more fluid with their finances because they know how to get lows because they might be bigger and keep stuff moving, and some might be the small mom and pop brokers and they need all their dollars because they just trying to start out. Let's see, they talking about rates. I put my business, the insurance. I put my business as a courier service and use general freight. I'm gonna shop around and update y'all next week. Yeah, that's what you gotta do. Get you that third party insurance guy. I'm trying to catch up. Let's see. 150-mile deadhead is through a dispatcher. They suggest 470. So remember, the deadhead mile is up to you. In some cases, that's a video I owe y'all to the reverse engineering. So they're not gonna give you money for 115 into that. And I know this is back since we talking about it. This is one of those force it issue. I'm gonna pull it up so I can make sure we're looking at the numbers the right way. When I say about forcing it, so 470 divided by 560 miles, that's 83 cents a mile. So remember the video we talked about the CPM, and the video is like, the name of the video is like, what is your cost per mile? And in parentheses it says CPM, and the other video is most likely named the same, like what is your cost of living in parentheses COL. If you don't see the video, which that's how they're titled, it'll be the formulas in the community post with the picture of the formula and all that stuff. It's posted in there. But the reason I say what do you force it, think of it this way. I'm gonna give you high-end numbers. If my CPM is 35 cents, Anthony, you pay attention to this because if my CPM is 35 cents and say once I do the formula and my cost of living, my CO, that's 70 cents. If I'm running that load for 83 cents, that means the business is only going to make 13 cents a mile out of that. If I take it for 470, that extra 13 cents times 470, that means the extra money out of that 470, only $61 is what's left to add to the business fund. Remember I told you, like, put stuff away for maintenance fund and all that stuff. That means $61 is roughly what's going to go to your maintenance fund, your whatever you saving for. If you're one of those individuals that pays the business price for cost first, 35 cents, and then you pay your COL, that's 35 cents, and then you got the $61 left, and then you say, I always split it in half and put half in my personal savings, half in my business savings. We talked about that in those videos as well. That means you have like roughly $30 to put in each one. That's what you're doing. But that's what comes back down to the forcing it, because there's somebody out there, and I'm going to use you for an example, Anthony, that 470 for example, if your insurance is $2,500, I'm gonna tell you right now, your CPM for your vehicle, if you have a vehicle note, say $1,000, using rough numbers, and your CPM is your insurance is $2,500, you're already at $3,500. When the time you do all the rest of the math, your CPM is going to be closer to 40 cents. So if your CPM is 40 cents and your cost of living is 40 cents, now you're 80 cents. That same 13 cents, all you have left is 3 cents. And the reason I say that is you have to look at it that way, is because that's that forcing it. We're forcing it because we're just looking at the numbers. And after talking to different people, down in like Florida, because I was down there. I was talking to them. I was only talking to box truck guys. It was no cargo van guys. There were box truck guys. And I just was talking and listening, chopping it up with them. I didn't know judgment. Everybody run their life the same way. I threw a little nugget here and there. But what I found out and I learned when we talk about why the rates are what they are, I don't know if those guys, I'm not saying no, but what I see people doing that I learned, the rates that are like those 40 cents, those 50 cents a mile, that's because they're in their mind, they're just partial in it. You are just parceling loads. You're trying to just put them all in the back of the box truck, get it there how you get it there, but they're not looking at it per mile. They're looking at $1. They just say the load can be, let's say, for example, a load will be going 1,000 miles. And they say 50 cents a mile. All they see is the 500. And I say 500 to be like, I got to pay this bill, got to pay my electric bill, got to pay my light bill. And then I got another load I'm going to throw in here, and that load is going somewhere close, but they paying $300. I'm going to throw that in there because that $300 is going to take care of all the fuel. And then I got another 2 pallets I'm going to throw in here. They paying $600, $700, and that right there is going to help go towards the rent. They're not looking at it the way we're talking about it. So they're taking the rates based off of the numbers because, let's be honest, we might talk about it, but nobody has taught them or they just don't care. I don't know which one it was. They're running it how they want to. It's just that's why you see certain numbers doing it, because they're forcing it in their own way. Not judging them, don't care, force it how you want to. What I'm trying to do over here when we talk about forcing it, I don't want you to force it and then a year or two from now we're looking at BG like, BG, it didn't work out. Because I don't want you to force it how they're forcing it. That's why you have to have so much capital when you enter this game and don't jump into it. Like Anthony, he didn't jump into it, but he knew insurance was coming. He just wants to make sure he gets the best quote. Because if somebody that jumps in this game and forces it and hauls out there and go buy a van and didn't think about insurance, by the time they get the van and then they look at insurance and they're like, oh man, I got to pay $3,000 a month between a van and insurance. We ain't even got the gas. They're going to start forcing loads and taking loads to get them places that they should not be, because they're forcing it to make sure they can make the payments on everything that they need to do. We don't want to set up a building like that. If you set up a business with the whole goal and sight in mind of just being able to pay the bills, that's what's going to cause you to get closer to failure than the success than anything. We talked about this. You can't have the 9-to-5 worker mindset when you try to come over here to the entrepreneur. So, because it's like a grind, it's like a hustle. You got to do a little something here, go over here, do gig guys here, get couriers here, dispatchers here, find a load. You're piecing it all together, not to just pay the bills, but to make the business grow. And I don't want you forcing it. Let me catch up with y'all because y'all over here talking. Jay Harv says, if 470 doesn't sit well with you, pass on it. But if your MC is new, maybe take it and let people know they should work with you, and you will start getting your number. Get your number and be patient as well. Yes, I agree with that. But it depends. It's all about that dispatcher. Because the reason I say that, if you're working with a dispatcher or a courier service, depends on which one it is. I don't want you to get caught up giving out your information on each load with that courier service person that they work with say something to you. Not a courier service drop in, you don't have them. You need somebody, if it's like a dispatcher, how transparent are they with you seeing the rate comes? Because I would want to see the rate comes, because I hate for them to be telling me 470 and they really did get it for 600 and they pocketing $130 and then also taking money off of the top of your 470 to pay the dispatching service fee. So my dispatcher would have to let me see paperwork as well, because it all depends on you. It's hard to say because every situation is different, but that's just me. Man, stop playing. You is not late. I don't want to hear that. You've been out there getting it, man. You was over there having some great stuff, conversation going over there. Matter of fact, I'm going to use your comment, because on tonight, if y'all didn't catch it, when the transporter was talking, one of the subjects that came up at the end was the wreck that happened in Florida that we talked about last week about the driver making a U-turn. That's exactly what we're talking about tonight. You could have took some time to went down to the exit safely and then turn around. Even though it was a sign that was sitting there that said no U-turn, he forced it. I don't know if it's because he didn't see the sign, didn't know the law. I don't know. But the reason I say that is because I've traveled to different countries. I remember being in Africa. I remember being in Africa. You just get in the seat and let the driver do. You just close your eyes. One of the people that was in Africa with us, she used to wear a blindfold over her eyes when they drive because it was scaring her because she's used to American driving. I remember seeing driving in the UK when you used to driving on the right side, I mean the left side, and they driving on the right side. I've been to so many different places. Like I remember Europe was the first time I started seeing roundabouts and knowing how to navigate that. So I won't say that he didn't necessarily know what he's doing or didn't see it, but wherever he was from, I didn't go no deeper in this, so I don't know. Depends on what he did, but according to his rules, it might not have been forced. It might be something that he's used to doing. But in America, that's a forced turn, and a legal one at that. But hey, that's what we're talking about. It's easy for us to see it from the outside when we're looking, but it's harder to look at it from the inside to know when we're forcing something. I don't know if you answered this yet, Jamar, but have you worked with that dispatcher before? Oh, I know the answer to that. I already talked to you about a little bit of that. Box truck be winning. It all depends on where you're at, man. I'm not knocking nobody in the box truck unless it's just me. The smaller box truck, I can't do it. I can't do it. Maybe if it was a 26-footer, maybe. But the small one, I couldn't do it. I can't do it. That's what I talked about some in the video that we dropped earlier. Jay Harv say, what's meant for you will find you, but never take a load, then be frustrated because you wanted more and now it should pay more. Too many drivers who take anything and give brokers the ups. I'm just saying, it happens. I was out there learning. I remember taking loads that I thought about after the fact. Should not have taken because I forced it. You hit 6 months, you should be having your way. My MC is 4 months, and I am very selective, but I don't fight for every bag either and blessed. I'm telling you, like, it's all about where you want to go, Jamal. I'm talking to you. Your MC is at 6 months. It's all about using the talking points, the negotiation tactics, the communication stuff that we talked about, understanding your CPM and your COL, all the stuff we've been dropping throughout all the videos. It's about applying that knowledge because Jay Harvey is kind of right. When that MC hits 6 months, you get a little more freedom than somebody that's starting day one. Like by 6 months, you should already be able, because King of Freight, they want you to do like 3 loads with them. Like you should already be with King of Freight. You should already done TQLs. You should already, like, there's so many you should already be doing in 6 months, but it requires you to trust yourself and know that you can get it done and get out there and get the running. Let's see. The formula that you presented previously has beneficial and allowed for us to figure out our CPM to run effective. Hey, fam, that's what we're here for. That's what it is for. That's what it's here for. I meant, babe, thank you for that because I forgot to do it at the beginning. So I'm finna do it now. So happy anniversary. I wanted to chop it up with them today, but they had some stuff going on, obviously. But this is when you force it. This is when you force it. Spending time with your loved ones, especially your spouse. Happy anniversary to the quicks. Because, hey, when you do it right and don't force it, now you can spend some of that cargo van money. Oh, man. I love it. I think it's what, 30-something years? How many years is it? I'm going to ask my wife. Hey, do you know how many years they've been married? Huh? 32? If the quicks, I know y'all busy. How many years has it been? Because I want to ask you a question. I know y'all taking care of business. I don't want to interrupt, but I know y'all here and I want to ask you a question. How many years has it been? Because I'm going to use you for a quick example for this. Because, man, this way is how God works when we talking about a subject. Let's see. I don't want to miss nobody while I'm waiting on the quicks to give me. That's what I'm talking about. Happy anniversary. I want to see them all come in. Hey, babe, somebody say thanks for the books. She say, you welcome, fam. You is welcome. Let's see. There we go. 32. So we talking about forcing it. Quick question. And if you got time, just for a quick sentence or two, you ain't got to come on. We ain't got to do all that. We're talking about when do you force it? out of 32 years of amazing marriage, because people, social media have people thinking crazy. What are those? Give me one example. It don't have to be long, of when you know when to force it and be more forceful with your marriage, and when you know when, hey, this is not something I need to force. And at this moment, I'm a bag up. I want to hear your experience because I want to chime in off of that. But I want to make sure we get all that up here. There we go. Where you go? Happy anniversary. We're not missing none of them. We finna give all this anniversary love out tonight. I'm finna force it. Happy anniversary to the Quick from Magnus. We finna the cargo van couple. Much love. I love it. I love you. Let's see who else we got. Did I miss anybody? Before we get back on topic, we finna make sure. I think I already got you, but just in case it won't hurt to force it again. I love it. And just so y'all know, the Quicks is saying thank you. They saying thank y'all to everybody. But yes, we're not leaving none of them out. Happy birthday. Man, I love the fam. See, I told you we got everybody in this fam. When we talking about forcing something, business-wise, personal life, everything, some things have to be forced, some things don't have to be forced. And I say that's why I told you a minute ago about personal development and business development. Because believe it or not, the reason I talk about kids and bring up so many things, because I told you before, your business is your baby. Like, they are literally hand in hand. But for some reason, not y'all, fam, people mix the two up because I get it. You're chasing that dollar. That dollar looks real. The dollar looks cute. It looks sexy. But you wouldn't do that same principle that you applied to go get the bag. You wouldn't apply it for your family. I'll give you an example. We'll use the $470 load that we were just talking about with Jamar, because this is what's happening out there when I say that people are just taking loads and running with it. As a business perspective, I probably wouldn't take it. But I understand other people's understanding of it, because if I'm sitting there and money is real tight and I not got to that fence, back up against the wall, I'm in the corner. We got my wife want me to put food on the table and I'm $200 short on rent, and it's the end of the month, August 21st right now. I got 6 days to come up with the rest of this rent. I'm $200 short, plus I need to put food on the table so we can eat the rest of the month. But I can't wait till the 31st, so I got to go get it now. And this load just happened to pay $470. So after everything, expenses and all that, I'm going to end up with $400. So I can put $200 on the rent and $200 on the food. I understand that, because that's what makes people force it and take loads that you otherwise wouldn't take for any other reason. But you feel like your back is up against the wall. That's why, even though I keep saying go back to the beginning, for somebody, if this is your first live, or fam, when it's your first video, I want you to go back to the beginning, because if you see how everything started with the gig apps and all that, because I don't want you to get in and force it, because what happens is you jump in and force it because you just see dollar signs and you're going to run into something. You might be like me with Chip going down, want to go have parties and stuff in other cities and states. You seen when he went down in Vegas, like, and then that throws you off your rocker. And now you're forcing yourself to take loads, because this is why you bring your pay for your family to get stuff. And then it just keeps you chasing another ball. And instead of being a 9 to 5, which you got out of it because you want to be your own boss or work for yourself, whatever it may be, now you're not turning this cargo van dream into a rat race, and you're forcing it. And you feel like you can never get ahead or put your head above water to catch your breath, because you got to keep forcing it just to keep the business going and keep food on the table. That's why some people, I look at them and be like, hey, this ain't the time to do that. It ain't the time to scale up. It ain't even the time. If some people I've talked to one-on-one, like, it's not even time for you to get into business. You need to keep doing the gig apps and run it up another 5 to 10,000 before you even cross over here. Like, we'll tell people when it comes to their personal finances that you need to have 3 months, 6 months, whatever, in savings that'll cover your bills in case something happened. But in business, we just throw our hand there and be like, I'm going to run out there, I'm going to force it, and I'm going to get this money. And then as soon as something goes wrong, now you can't do nothing. Let's go back over here, because I'm not letting nobody me. We're getting all these happy anniversaries out. I'm going to get back to, I see the comments that was asking questions. I'm going to get back to that. Happy anniversary, Sean, talking in that thing too. G22, I see it. Transport talking about happy anniversary. I love it. And hey, Quicks, you know they gonna keep showing love. We love y'all too, fam. We love y'all too. Matter of fact, based off the question I asked the Quicks, Jamar said when we talked about rushing, you learn real quick in marriage. The secret is every battle don't need to be won. I might need to take a moment of silence with that comment because that was amazing. Because that we've talked about this so many times. Remember when we talk about lows and be like, "Hey, I didn't win today. Wasn't that day?" Sometimes the same way with marriage, every battle don't need to be won. Sometimes you got to know how to protect yourself from yourself, know how to protect your spouse from themselves, know how to protect yourself from your spouse. Same way in business, you got to know how to protect yourself from making bad decisions. Protect yourself from taking a load that puts you somewhere that you shouldn't be going. Protecting yourself from taking a load that financially makes it where you end up paying out of pocket, and it's like you driving the load for free. That's the part of forcing it. And I'm gonna piggyback on what Jabbar's saying about you learn real quick in marriage that the secret is every battle don't need to be won. When you start, because we talk about the purpose of the van. Remember, y'all tell me like, BJ, you just keep moving. It's like, hey, I just threw my hands up, and God's plan. I'm just going however He tell me to navigate. When you start doing that same thing and apply it to your personal life, starting with your spouse, and you look up, it won't necessarily. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you won't have disagreements and all that. Everybody's gonna have them. But when you realize that you don't have to force everything and that everything doesn't have to be a battle and you start moving together as one, which was the union. I know when we're younger, we do crazy stuff, but as you get older, you start moving as one with the union and don't force things to be your way or force my way or the highway. You know the sayings. And you start moving as one. Yeah, you gotta have them disagreements, but them disagreements last a few minutes and be gone about their business. And then you keep moving because why? You're not, your spouse isn't your enemy. The cargo van is not your enemy. This is a business. That's your baby. It's not here to hurt you. But there are outside forces. And I'm going to keep it right here for a second because I want you to understand the difference between those outside forces. One of the key things about the marriage is you don't let outsiders in. You don't let people tell you what you're about. Don't go around talking about your spouse. Don't come listening to people tell you about your spouse. Don't start listening to what they say do. Same thing with your business. You don't open your books up to the brokers. You don't pull up to the shipper and be like, or the receiver and be like, hey, man, this is what they paid me for this. That's stupid. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what people do. And I watch it. They get online. They break down, throw out carrier companies, brokers, dispatchers, talk real dirty about it. That's why I don't get into the talk of who scam who. I don't get in that talk. That's not my relationship. I don't have nothing to do with none of them. I treat this the same way I treat all my life is kind of interchangeable. So it's all treated the same. Like the business, it's not a secret. My wife knows what's going on. I don't have to force it because she knows when I leave the house, I'm gonna be out here. I'm only gonna be gone a week or two. That's why I don't go to to New York. That's why I don't go to Oregon. That's why I don't go to those places because inside of the business we're building, if I'm out on that road and my wife called me and say I need to be at the house, I can get home in less than 24 hours. That's why I don't go to those places. I promise you, if I'm in Detroit, Michigan, if I'm in Chicago, Illinois, if I'm in the DMV, if I'm in DC, and my wife said I need to get to that house, something going on, or just need me to get home, I'll be home in 24 hours. But I can't do that if I run to Oregon. See, this is my part of my bet. That's why I don't force certain things because they're outliers. Like we talk about insurance in the case something happens to your van, something break down, are you prepared for it? I don't go to those areas because they're outliers. In the case that something happens, am I prepared to come home? Yeah, with me. That's why I don't force certain things. That's why I say I take my hand. They call us steering wheel holders because we on cruise control, but I take my hands off the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. Not literally. Don't be driving down the street taking your hand off the wheel. You get what I'm saying. And I go with the plan. And when you stop trying to force it, thinking I got to take this way. I know people say I'm a big advocate is you have to have action behind what you ask God for. I believe that wholeheartedly. So I'm not saying you can't just be like, hey, I need your help, God, and then sit back and be like, I'm just waiting on God to help, like the 3 ships passing by while you're out there drowning. You got to have action behind it. But don't be a fool with that action and just run out there and make crash out decisions. We supposed to be past that. Let's see. We got to answer. One answer is what's not forced in 32 years is respect and love for each other's individuality. I'm going to put that back up there. I don't want nobody. That was too fast. I want y'all to read that again. You gotta, Lord Jesus, you gotta respect it. When I say the stuff you see out in the world, you gotta have that space. As the Quicks just said, the respect and love for each person. You didn't, when you met that person, your person, you didn't meet them and fall in love with them because they were you. You met them and fell in love with them because they were them. When you got in this transportation game, you didn't get into the transportation game or a cargo van game because that's why we talked about this before, knowing what you're doing before you get in here. Because I promise you, I'm going to give you one good example. If you don't have some type of enjoyment or peace or respect for just driving, you probably shouldn't get a job that takes a lot of driving. You get what I'm saying? Like you probably shouldn't do that. I'm not going there. I'm going to keep going. Thank you, BG. I checked myself today. Gig apps don't know I have my MCs, so their offers are never to my liking. I told myself today, humble and get that $50 here and there and make it do what it do. That's the forcing it. I promise you, y'all see me do it. I had the van. We did the giveaway and went out in there and did the hat tricks and all that stuff. I'm not opposed to a gig app. If I'm in a certain location and I ain't got nothing going on, I might be bored, or if I'm already rested, say it's the weekend, I can do a couple extra dollars. Go get it, man. It's all going towards the business. I promise if I can make $250 every day and be in my house at the end of the day, it works for me. And I think eventually that and more is going to happen. I'm not going to lie to you, Jay Harv. I agree with you. I'm not even finna lie, because I know Phoenix. I know how hard it can get. But this is for the fam that's out here in the triangle. If you ain't seen it, I've showed you a couple times. I promise you, running around this triangle, that's why I say about not having to leave Texas. You can get 300 plus daily. I've done it multiple times. You can get 300 daily and never leave the triangle, except, to go like to Laredo or go over to New Orleans. Maybe up to Oklahoma City, but that's a little further because from Houston to Oklahoma City is like 400 some miles. It's like 6 hours and something. So it basically makes for a 13, 14 hour day. But you can run around those areas. Even if I just said I'm going to go to Odessa. Yeah, I can go to Odessa. I'm going to get about $500 some, maybe $600 to go there. It's going to be a long day, probably like a 15-hour day. But I can pick something up in Houston, run to Odessa, find something, come back home. It all depends on what you want to do. But yes, that's why we talk about the location, because it's not hard to get that $250 to $300 a day easy if you in the right place. Jamar saying that is an awesome answer, talking about the quicks. He said the two should become one, but you are your own person who God made, and when you realize that, it changes. None of us are from Zamunda, whatever you like. I'm not messing with you up here giving us quotes. Hop on one knee, bark like a dog. Let me stop. Where are we at? Hold on. Got something coming up on my phone. Okay. I'm catching up. All right, let's do the math right quick. What are we talking about? 48 pallets and 600. No. I think you misunderstand what I was saying in the video. Divided by 48. Think what you misunderstood. I might have misspoke, or I might have was speaking fast. The Sprinter vans can hold 4 pallets. The extra long ones. I probably was speaking too fast because the Sprinter we looked at, that wasn't the extra long Sprinter. But I was thinking about the extra long. The extra long Sprinter can handle 4 pallets. The 2,500 that I measured, because 14 feet doesn't go. But obviously, if it was the 40-inch pallets, that'll work. So you're right on that. I probably misspoke. I haven't watched the video yet. I told you, when I make videos, fam, I don't do no editing. Part of me, I don't do a lot of going, because if it starts feeling like work, I don't want to do it. That's me. If anything in my life, we just talked about the quicks and how amazing their marriage is, and they giving us the nuggets, and Jamar dropping nuggets. For me, if it starts feeling like work, anything, I'm not doing it. I've done my work. If this van ever felt like work, somebody else gonna have to drive Chip. That's why I don't do dedicated routes, because I don't want to feel like work. I want to stop when I want to. I want to go when I want to, because again, I enjoy the driving. I enjoy building ththings, building a business, strengthening the family. I draw all that stuff. If I ever feel like work, I'm gonna stop and just go sit in the backyard, even including videos. When I talk, you're gonna get it all. It might blunder out, it might come out. There's no going back and editing, because I believe in 100% transparency. There's no such thing as perfect. Those that read the book know what I'm talking about. But there's no going back and forth. So I might have misspoke, because the big sprinter, the big boy, can hold 4. Sean says, I kind of forced it in a different way. I took $1 a mile load to PA and had to drive back. I made a relationship with a broker that now calls me for loads. That's not that. Hey, that's a good force. I've done it. I've had brokers that, matter of fact, I got a couple at TQL that hit me up and be like, hey, I got a load for you. You here? Yeah, I got it. I told you about the one load that we had to negotiate the rate, because they rather give it to me than the other person that was on the phone. Like, I've done that, so I know what you're talking about. If it mean, and remember, it's not by much, because people get caught off by that money. They'll be like, oh, I could, if I'm going 1,000 miles and I say I got it for $1 a mile, and people will be like, but I got it built from a relationship that I built, and that broker always calls me, or the shipper always calls me, whatever the case may be. And people are like, nah, that needed to be at least $1.10. I've had somebody tell me that we only run for $1.10, and I'm just sitting there looking. So you mean to tell me you coming at me because I threw off $100 to get 1,000? Because $1.10 a mile is only 1,100. $1 a mile is 1,000. So you mean to tell me we having this conversation? You think I shouldn't have taken the load because the $100? $100. I'm supposed to just throw my whole business plan just because it don't work for you. So yeah, I believe in that. Build that relationship, fam. They was talking about, that's the bigger Sprinter van that we just was talking about, 177 inches. So yeah, I just misspoke, fam. I haven't watched the video yet, so I have to go back. But yeah, put it in the comments and I'll reply to it, because I probably misspoke. Hey fam, you good. Let's see. You got .MC number and use that one subscription. What about 123 low board truck stop? So I haven't been on truck stop. I haven't been on 123 low board, because that's part of that forcing the thing. I'm not knocking nobody that does it, pick your low board. But for me, I'm the kind of person, not necessarily master. I have to almost, but I'm gonna use that word. I have to master something before I continue to go on. Because if I'm jumping, because it takes time to get used to those load boards. Like, for example, I'm quicker and faster and able to move faster using the DAT load board on my phone, but on my computer, if I'm sitting there trying to do it, I'm slow. I miss out on loads. It just, because I'm not as quick versus a broker that's a dispatcher probably sitting there on the computer just clicking around. They probably just clicking around. So I don't use the 123 load board or truck stop. Plus, at the time before everything happened, OTR Solution verified with DAT, the blue check, that they worked hand in hand. So when I saw a blue check, I didn't even have to think if I was going to get paid, because they worked hand in hand with OTR Solution. I think DAT has kind of cleared some of that up, because some of the checks now, as I go back and forth checking, for the most part, all the brokers that are popping up on DAT now are saying that they good to go. They are cool, but it's geared towards trucks. If you can afford it, the Selectus is for the cargo van owners. Yeah, if you want Selectus. And then we're talking about the different pallets. They say turn the pallets. So yeah, it all depends, fam. You can make it do what you want it to do. Jamar, this is what I was just talking about. I have them all, but it become too much. I would say Truck Stop will give you a list of brokers who will probably use new MCs, but I have most brokers say they use Selected. So if you're trying to go through them all, I get it. Do what's best for you. But for me, I'm sticking with the one, because again, I don't want it to feel like work. That's just me. I'm not trying to force nothing. I think it's been working pretty decent. Me personally, when I'm ready to move, that one load board has been all them loads you see outside of probably 3 of them in the beginning, 3 or 4 maybe loads in the very beginning. Outside of those 3 or 4 loads, every load you see that I run has come off that DAT load board. So I don't have a reason because it's only me. I can only drive one van at a time. Do they provide better rates on selectors? Maybe. I don't know. Before what the business we got going on right now, until that time comes for that growth, it's working for us. It's doing great things. I'm not mad at it because then I will start forcing it. And if I start forcing it, then I'm going to stop liking it. I'm going to lose my passion for it. And I believe in this because I remember everything in my mind goes hand in hand. If I lose my passion for it, I think it's going to disrupt my purpose. And part of my purpose is helping others. And right now, that purpose is using that van. Remember, the van is a product of the overall goal. That's a video. Go back and watch it. That van right now is helping with my purpose. Because remember, I told you before, part of my purpose is helping others. And yeah, I've done the speaking thing, been around the world, talking on stages and stuff like that. But I like this interaction and helping y'all because it lines up with who I am a lot better. So if I push it and I force it and I start doing extra stuff that I don't like, then I'm going to lose my passion for it. I lose my passion for it. I'm not going to want to do it. And then we ain't going to have nothing to talk about it unless I go find something else to do, which I have other things that I'm going to do, but I want y'all to do them with me. I want us to do them together, but it's going to take baby steps. That's why we get baby bags until we get to the big bags. I'm going to just give you a snippet. It's all about the bags right now because pretty soon after we get this whole thing ironing out, we're going to be packing bags and going somewhere to spin those bags. But I ain't going to get too far ahead. I'm going to leave y'all with that. Make sure I ain't miss nobody in these comments before we get up out of here. Let me see. Where did I turn the pallet sideways? I talked about that. I think yours works, G, because you already have one year MC. No, I don't. I promise you. These lows, it's been going down from the beginning. It ain't. I didn't just start getting lows. I promise you. Just join Team Selectors. It's a little difficult, but seem to be the same as DAT. See what I'm saying? Like, just pick one. Whatever. If it doesn't work, stop using it. Go to something else. But pick one. Figure that one out and go to something else. That's part of this thing we was talking about. Stop trying to juggle it all because then you're going to be, that's more money you're going to have to spend on all these low boards. Don't want to do that because that's taking away from what you're trying to build. But yeah, that's all I really have, fam. I ain't going to hold y'all too much because I already seen some of the fam. Y'all got y'all Friday pickup, drop off Monday. So I'm proud of y'all. I'm liking that for y'all. And some of y'all got y'all pickups tomorrow. And so your boy, I got to go see when I got to go get Chip from out there because Chip is having too much fun and you can't stay up there having all that fun. He been out there partying. He better not been talking to no girls and all that. But oh well, that's neither here nor there. So we about to get up out of here. And you know what time it is. Before we even get up out of here, you might as well know it. Close your eyes and bow your head. Let's get this week going. Father God, we once again come to say thank you. And we want to also say we appreciate your blessings. With the first blessing, we appreciate you for allowing the Quick family, one of our family members, and their happily wedded union as one to hit that 32 amazing years with many, many more years to come, Jesus. We thank you for allowing people like them to be a guide and a light to show us where we're going so we don't force things to happen in our life, but we want them to happen on your time. The same way as we get ready for this week, let us not force things to happen and let us follow your guide, follow your lead so that we can have things happen, not just more fruitfully, but more abundantly in our lives so that we can continue to grow, not just a family over here, but to continue to grow our family personal and continue to grow our business funds as well. We just ask that you continue to help us see that longevity in our life and have the success that you know is for us. I ask this and many more blessings in your darling son, Jesus' name. Amen. And just like that, it's time for y'all to go on out there. Don't force nothing. Don't force it. It's coming. I tell you all the time, what's for you is for you. When it look like it ain't working, just remember it's for you. And before I get out of here, because I'm not going to let it go, I got to give one more win. Happy anniversary to the Quicks. Happy 32 years, fam. We proud of y'all. We happy for y'all. One day we going to all get to celebrate with y'all. But either way it go, fam, It's time to get up out of here. I want y'all to have that blessed week. I want y'all to do amazing things. Don't force nothing. But I will say one to the next video or to the next live. I don't know which one gonna come first because we gotta figure out what's going on with Chip. Just know that whatever happens, you're gonna be the first one to find out because I'm not gonna force it. I'm just gonna tell you what it is. Unless I got a force go and get Chip, because that boy might be in trouble. I'll let you know. But either way, until then, until we find out, y'all get some rest. Y'all go get some sleep. Go get your bags. Have a blessed week. And until the next video or live, you know what I want you to do. Y'all stay blessed.